ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. Today we are going to discuss the verse Bhagavad-Gita 9.10. So I'll read the verse, synonyms, translation and purport. Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayanti te. Synonyms: Tesham, unto them, satata yuktanam, always engaged, bhajatam, in rendering devotional service, Priti Purvakam, in loving ecstasy, Dadami, I give, Buddhi Yogam, real intelligence, Tam, that, Yena, by which, Mam, unto me, Upayanti, come, Te, they. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. To those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. Purport. In this verse, the word Buddhi Yogam is very significant. We may remember that in the second chapter, the Lord, instructing Arjuna, said that he had spoken to him many things and that he would instruct him in the way of Buddhi Yoga. Now Buddhi Yoga is explained. Buddhi Yoga itself is action in Krishna consciousness, that is the highest intelligence. Buddhi means intelligence and Yoga means mystic activities or mystic elevation. When one tries to go back home, back to Godhead, and takes fully to Krishna consciousness in devotional service, his action is called Buddhi Yoga. In other words, Buddhi Yoga is a process by which one can get out of the entanglement of this material world. The ultimate goal of progress is Krishna. People do not know this, therefore the association of devotees and a bona fide spiritual master are important. One should know that the goal is Krishna, and when the goal is assigned, the path is slowly but progressively traversed and the ultimate goal is achieved. When a person knows the goal of life but is still addicted to the fruits of activities, he is acting in Karma Yoga. When he knows that the goal is Krishna but he still takes pleasure in mental speculations to understand Krishna, he is acting in Jnana Yoga. And when he knows the goal and seeks Krishna completely in Krishna consciousness and devotional service, he is acting in Bhakti Yoga or Buddhi Yoga, which is the complete yoga. This complete yoga is the highest perfectional stage of life. A person may have a bona fide spiritual master and may be attached to a spiritual organization, but if he is still not intelligent enough to make progress, then Krishna from within him gives instructions so that he may ultimately come to him without difficulty. The qualification is that a person always engage himself in Krishna consciousness and with love and devotion render all kinds of activities. He should perform some sort of work for Krishna, and that work should be with love. If a devotee is not intelligent enough to make progress on the path of self-realization but is sincere and devoted to the activities of devotional service, the Lord gives him a chance to make progress and ultimately attain to him. So this is the verse 10 of the 10th chapter of the Bhagavad-Gita that we read just now. And here this is a part of the Chatushloki, that is the four main important slokas of the Gita. So the Gita spans up to 700 verses in 18 chapters, and it is divided into 3 sections of 6 chapters each. So the first one talks about Karma Yoga, and the last one, so the first one is chapters 1 to 6 and the last one is chapters 13 to 18. So it talks about Jnana Yoga, and this 1 to 6 chapters talk about Karma Yoga. And the middle thing, that is Bhakti Yoga or Buddhi Yoga that we are talking, that is more better, that is mentioned here, is the Bhakti Yoga, that is in between, that is from chapters 7 to 12. So now thus Bhakti Yoga or these 6 chapters are the middle chapters of the Bhagavad Gita. Now coming into more deeper. Now coming more deeper, we find that there are 2 chapters in the exact middle, that is the 9th and 10th chapters. So, and in this 9th and 10th chapters, we now see that there are 4 slokas here in this 10th chapter, that is 10.8, 9, 10 and 11. These are the 4 slokas which indicate the main essence of the Bhagavad Gita. So this is the essence of the essence. So Bhagavad Gita's essence is this chapters 7 to 12, and out of them is the essence of the that is the 9th and 10th chapters, and out of that the essence is the 4 Chatushloki. So now what is this Chatushloki exactly, and what does it talk about? So Chatushloki is the 4 main important slokas of the Gita, as we have said earlier, and it talks about these 4 slokas talk about different things. Now 10.8 and 9, which is 10.8 is, I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds, everything emanates from me. The wise who perfectly know this engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts. And 10.9's translation is, the thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me, their lives are fully devoted to my service, and they derive great satisfaction and bliss from always enlightening one another and conversing about me. So 10.8 and 10.9, these 2 things talk about what people do for the Supreme Lord, what the devotees do. So now the person or the devotee who knows that the Supreme Lord is the source of everything and everything emanates from him, then he can engage in pure devotional service and worship the Supreme Lord with all his heart. So then he knows that he is nothing, he doesn't have any false ego, he doesn't have any his anarthas slowly start to diminish, and then he is able to serve the Supreme Lord and think about him. And now the next verse is like where the thoughts of the pure devotees always dwell in the Lord, their lives are fully devoted to him, they discuss among themselves, they read the scripture, revealed scriptures, and that's how they derive great satisfaction. So 10.8 talks about cultivating knowledge and practicing it. So that cultivating knowledge, the knowledge is that the Supreme Lord is the source of everything, and then practicing, this is worshipping the Lord with all the heart. So now 10.9 speaks about offering body, mind and words in the service of the Lord. This is what the devotees are doing by thinking about him, by serving him eternally, and by discussing amongst themselves and reading the scripture to gain the knowledge. So about the Supreme Lord. So these 2 verses, as we saw, talk about what people do for Lord. Now the verse which we are in and the verse after that, that is 10 and 11, speak about what the Lord does for people. So if we read this very carefully, we find that 10.10's translation is, to those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. And 10.11's translation is, to show them special mercy, I, dwelling in their hearts, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born from ignorance. So 10.10 speaks about how Krishna provides the knowledge. The people who are constantly devoted to serving him, who know that he is the Supreme Lord and everything emanates from him, he gives the knowledge by which they can come to me. So come to him. So Krishna destroys ignorance by the shining lamp of knowledge. So asatoma sadgamaya, tamasoma jyotirgamaya. So please bring me from darkness to light. So that's what Krishna does by inundating the heart with the shining lamp of knowledge. So these 2 verses speak about what the Lord does for people, or rather his devotees, to be a better word. So now coming here to this 10.10 verse, here it is talking about Let's read it again. To those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. Now, how can a person be constantly devoted to the Supreme Lord? By serving Him with love. In the previous 10.8 has already been said that the Supreme Lord is the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from Him. So the people who cultivate this knowledge that, oh yes, there is the person who is higher authority than me, he is the Supreme Lord, and I need to like ask from him, I need to gain his mercy, then one can actually worship the Lord with all the heart. So if we don't know that the Supreme Lord is the source of everything, everything comes from Him. So this material world itself is like the nature here, and how the things has been created, how it is, how the affairs of the material world is running. That in itself shows that for this much complicated construction of the material world itself, we need a creator, and that creator is the Supreme Lord. He has created even the spiritual worlds also. If we don't know this, then where is the point of engaging in the devotional service and worshipping Him with all the heart? And if we don't constantly serve the Lord, engage in His devotional service, then where is the point of Lord giving us the understanding by which we can come to Lord? So we are first of all, we are supposed to cultivate the knowledge that I am worshipping not just some ordinary person. I am worshipping the source of everything. I am not worshipping an ordinary demigod who can give only temporary results of the austerities, and who is again just infinitesimal soul like myself. So I am not worshipping an ordinary person. I am worshipping the source of everything. So that's I should give all my heart and all my life to worship Him. And then there will be tests. Of course there will be tests. This material world here, Maya's stringent ways are prevalent, especially in Kali Yuga. So in this age, one who is practicing, without a doubt there will be a lot of troubles. So initially it may happen that we are getting the feeling that we are not getting the time, or we have to do this, that and all that. That is all because of the influence of Maya. But when we understand that no, I want to do this, I want to give up everything else, when the Lord sees that we are putting sufficient amount of adequate effort, then He gives little taste in chanting the holy name, in worshipping the deity, in etc. So He gives the little taste, and then the more the person gets the taste, he feels, I don't have taste, and he's worshipping the Lord with all his heart. More, he's putting more and more efforts. Please help me. So then the Lord actually, when He is pleased, He gives the understanding by which he can come to Him. He enlightens the spiritual soul further much more in this process of devotional service. And also along with that, He tells Maya as well, please don't disturb this soul. Now he is surrendered unto me. So then at that time, Maya's attack, we can be protected from Maya's attack. So all this will happen when we cultivate the knowledge that the Supreme, I am worshipping the Supreme Lord, and not just some ordinary person. I need to dedicate my entire life to Him, and then I can then when I put sufficient adequate effort, then the Lord can give the understanding and enlighten me. So mainly here we are talking about Buddhi Yoga only. That is, the purport is saying that the verse in this verse the word Buddhi Yogam is very significant. So in the second chapter of the Bhagavad-Gita, that is Sankhya Yoga, summarizing the entire contents of the Bhagavad-Gita, the Supreme Lord spoke at length about the features of the soul and etc. So here he speaks at length and he tells Arjuna that he would instruct him in the way of Buddhi Yoga. Now this Buddhi Yoga has been explained in this essence of the essence, that is the 10th chapter of the Bhagavad-Gita. Now he is explaining Buddhi Yoga, that is how to engage everything in the service of the Lord, how to be cent percent engaged. So Buddhi Yoga itself is action in Krishna consciousness, utilizing everything for serving the Lord in its own way. So then we can, this is the highest intelligence what a person is doing. So as it is written here, Buddhi means intelligence and Yoga means mystic activities or mystic elevation. So when one tries to go back home, back to Godhead, and takes fully to Krishna consciousness in devotional service, his action is called Buddhi Yoga. And Buddhi Yoga is a process by which one gets out of the entanglement of this material world. So with this highest intelligence, as it is said here already, the one understands that we have repeated this point, that I am not worshipping an ordinary person, I am worshipping the Supreme Lord. So with this highest intelligence, one understands that I have to dedicate my life completely, and then one finds ways, how can I utilize everything, how can I utilize my body, mind and words and all the things that I possess by the mercy of the Supreme Lord, how can I utilize it to serve him in whatever little way I am doing. So how can I utilize it, and then asking for the Supreme Lord's mercy, praying continuously, putting efforts, and then the Supreme Lord can give us the mercy and enlighten us, by which we can slowly get out of this material entanglement. As it is written here, one gets out of the entanglement of the material world by the enlightenment which is given to him by Krishna. Then one understands that, oh yes, this happiness is just very small, it is there for some time, it goes away. So we are asking for happiness, it comes. We are asking for sadness, we don't ask for sadness also, but it comes. But this is the condition of the material world. When we go to the spiritual world, at that time we are always happy serving the Supreme Lord. The devotee understands this truth. He he slowly understands that now I have to completely dedicate my life, all this thing I just have to leave it here and go, I should not be attached. And then by the Supreme Lord's mercy, slowly Maya will stop trying to put this devotee in illusion, and then he can slowly get out of the entanglement of the material world. So the ultimate goal of the progress is Krishna. Again, what the devotee is trying to do, again, trying to go back to the Supreme Lord eternally and serve him there. So now here people do not know this. Therefore, the association of devotees and a bona fide spiritual master is important. Again, as it is mentioned here, taking shelter of Guru, that is association of devotees, Sadhu Sangha, Nam Kirtan, Bhagavata, Shravan, Mathuravas, Srimurtaye, Shraddhaya, Sevan. So, and also Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya, the 9 stages of devotional service, everything where one associates with devotees. He especially association of devotees is important in this Kali Yuga, where Maya is so stringent and powerful. So when we remain in the association of devotees, we know our goal. We continue telling ourselves the same message. So we continue telling ourselves the same message, that in this material world nothing is good, we cannot live a happy life here. So then we keep on telling ourselves this message that okay, now I need to do something to get out of this material world. And what is that something? That something is devotional service. So that is what I should do to get out of this. And the association of devotees and a bona fide spiritual master, where one takes a shelter of the Guru, he pariprashnena sevaya, he asks questions, he humbly serves, he upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshina. The Guru knows, he has already seen the entire truth, and that is the reason why he is able to impart it to the disciple. So moving forward, it is said that when a person knows the goal of life and is addicted to the fruits of activities, he is acting in karma yoga. When he knows that the goal is Krishna but he takes pleasure in mental speculations to understand Krishna, he is acting in jnana yoga. So karma yoga is where one is performing activities with the desire of the fruits. So I want the fruit, and that is the reason why I am performing the activity or the service. So as soon as the fruit is taken away, no more attachment to performing work. So person knows the goal of life, ki yes, I want to achieve Krishna, but yes, he is addicted to the fruits of material activities. He for his material activities, he wants some return or some fruit. So thus again coming to jnana yoga, the Lord knows the devotee knows that the goal is Krishna, and but he is trying to speculate mentally. So who is this Supreme Lord? What is given in the Shastra? How can I understand it by my own mental speculation without taking shelter of the Guru, etc. Then he is acting in Jnana Yoga. When one knows the goal of life, he seeks Krishna completely in Krishna consciousness and devotional service. He is acting in Bhakti Yoga or Buddhi Yoga, which is the complete yoga. This complete yoga is the highest perfectional stage of life. So when one is coming to this stage where he does not care about mental speculation or the fruits of activities, he only associates with devotees, takes shelter of Guru, try to learn from Guru, then act as per the instructions of Guru, then a person is acting in Bhakti Yoga or Buddhi Yoga, then he is in the highest perfectional stage of life, where he knows that yes, this is the goal, this is the only goal. He is perfectly committed that I want to achieve this. And a person may not have a bona fide spiritual master and may not moving forward, a person may have a bona fide spiritual master and may be attached to a spiritual organization, but if he is still not intelligent enough to make progress, then Krishna from within him gives instructions so that he may ultimately come to him without difficulty. So again, as we mentioned here previously, dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mamupayantite. So a person, he has a bona fide spiritual master and he is attached to association of devotees. He is into this congregation, but he is still not intelligent enough to make progress. He is still struggling. Then Krishna slowly, either he will send somebody else to tell us what to do, what is best to do, or else he will give some internal inspiration to do something, and then we may achieve the goal. So, but what is the qualification? Always engage in Krishna's service. So like now imagine if we go to the temple always and say Krishna I want you, Krishna I want you, but at home we are always watching a movie, going and here and there talking to somebody, doing this, that, and then Krishna will say why should I give you the inspiration? You are already engaged in all sorts of nonsensical activities. Be like that. When you come to this process of devotional service, at that time I will tell you, I will give you this knowledge. So he should thus one should always engage himself in the service of the Lord, and he should always render all kinds of services, perform some work for the Lord. That work should be with love. If a devotee is not intelligent enough to make progress on the path of self-realization, but is sincere and devoted to the activities of devotional service, the Lord gives him a chance to make progress and ultimately attain to him. Again, this point is telling about dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mamupayantite, where we are trying hard but we cannot achieve the goal. So then the Supreme Lord is giving some internal inspiration. He is sending some like-minded devotees who can share some knowledge, and then at that time he enlightens us. Then we can completely get out of the entanglement of this material world, which is acting in the highest platform of intelligence, that is Buddhi Yoga. So we should all try to render devotional service to Krishna, so that he he will give us this internal inspiration. He will send us some devotees to tell us what to do. So this is the end of the explanation on he will send some very close devotees so that we may associate with them properly, and then we can gain the knowledge from them. He will also give us a spiritual master. He will also send us a proper spiritual master from whom we can take guidance and shelter. So this is the end of the explanation on Bhagavad-Gita Sloka 10.10. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam. Amma!